The Quiet Power Within, A Stoic's Guide to Inner Strength. There's one habit practiced by Marcus Aurelius amid the chaos of battle, by Epictetus while in chains, and by Seneca surrounded by political intrigue that transformed their lives completely. They never announced it to the world. In fact, they rarely spoke of it at all. It's the subtle art of turning inward, of focusing on your own character, and of maintaining deliberate silence. Today, I'll show you how this ancient philosophy, practiced for over 2 millennia, can fundamentally reshape your existence. The battle for your mind. Consider your last 24 hours. How many unsolicited opinions did you offer? How many arguments did you get drawn into that had nothing to do with your purpose? How often did you reach for your phone, scroll through feeds, react to things that, in 5 years, you won't even recall? This isn't accidental. We inhabit an attention economy, and your focus, your awareness is your most precious resource. Every alert, every controversy, every trending debate is engineered to pull you away from the one thing that can truly change your life: yourself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. These words were written nearly 2,000 years ago, yet they could have been composed this morning. The struggle remains unchanged, the struggle for mastery over your own mind. The lesson of Epictetus. Consider Epictetus. Born into slavery, no freedom, no property, no rights. His master once twisted his leg so violently that it broke, leaving him permanently disabled. Yet Epictetus became one of history's most influential philosophers. Emperors studied his teachings. His wisdom still echoes across centuries. How? While the world controlled his body, Epictetus made a radical choice. He refused to let it control his mind. He turned inward. He focused on what was his judgments, his choices, his character, and remained silent about everything beyond his control. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions they hold about things. Epictetus. This is the foundational Stoic insight. Disturbance never originates outside you, it always begins within. Until you grasp this truth, bone deep, the world will continue to own you. What Stoic silence actually means. Most people misunderstand Stoic silence. They envision coldness, emotional detachment, some robotic indifference. This couldn't be further from the truth. Stoic silence isn't the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. It's the conscious decision to refrain from speaking, not because you have nothing to say, but because you recognize that words carry weight, and you refuse to squander them. Principle 1. Speak less, mean more. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. Adapted from Stoic tradition, Seneca, in his letters to Lucilius, was nearly obsessed with this principle. He observed powerful men, senators, generals, figures of immense influence destroy their reputations, relationships, and peace of mind simply through excessive speech. He advised, retire into yourself as much as possible. Associate with those who will make you better. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual. Men learn while they teach. Notice what he's really saying. Be selective about who receives your energy. Think about conversations from the past month that drained you, that left you feeling depleted, that pulled you into others' drama or chaos. Now imagine what your life would look like if you simply declined to engage with those conversations. This isn't cruelty or arrogance. It's among the most loving things you can do for yourself and ultimately, for everyone around you. When you protect your peace, you show up as a better version of yourself in every interaction that truly matters. Principle 2. Your silence is your strength. The Stoics understood a psychological truth that modern science has since confirmed: reactive people are predictable, and predictable people are controllable. When you react immediately, when you argue back, defend yourself, explain yourself to every critic, you surrender your power. You become a puppet, and the one pulling your strings doesn't even need to try. Marcus Aurelius grasped this intimately. As Emperor of Rome, people constantly attempted to provoke him: rivals, enemies, senators with hidden agendas. His defense was devastating in its simplicity. He simply refused to react. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Marcus Aurelius. He didn't need to argue. He didn't need to defend. He simply continued being who he was: disciplined, principled, focused, and let his life speak for itself. This is Stoic silence in action. Not weakness. Absolute, unshakable strength. Principle 3. The dichotomy of control. Epictetus built his entire philosophy on one foundational concept: the dichotomy of control. Some things are within our power, and some are not. Simple, almost deceptively so. But follow it through, and watch what happens. What is within your control? Your thoughts, your choices, your effort, your attitude, your responses to events. What is not within your control? Others' opinions, the weather, the economy, what your boss thinks of you, whether your content goes viral, whether someone reciprocates your feelings. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Epictetus. Here's where this becomes profound. Most people expend 80% of their mental energy on things they cannot control, then wonder why they feel exhausted, anxious, powerless, stuck. Focusing on yourself truly, deeply, in the Stoic sense means redirecting that energy back to where it belongs, to your craft, your growth, the things that actually move the needle of your life. The wisdom of Seneca's withdrawal. Late in his life, after decades navigating the dangerous political waters of Nero's Rome, Seneca did something extraordinary. He stepped back. He relinquished his wealth, his political influence, his social standing, and focused entirely on himself. Not selfishly, not in isolation, but with radical intentionality. He spent his final years writing, reflecting, corresponding with friends, working on his own character. Withdraw into yourself to the extent you can. Associate with those who will make you a better person. Admit only the worthy into your company. Seneca understood something most people never discover. Your inner world is the only world you truly own, and the person who cultivates their inner life with discipline and intention will eventually transform their outer world completely. Principle 4. Become a lighthouse, not a mirror. Most people are mirrors. They reflect whatever energy the world sends them. Someone is angry, they get angry back. Someone criticizes, they collapse or explode. Someone praises, they float on cloud 9. Their entire emotional state is determined by external input. The Stoic goal is to become a lighthouse. A lighthouse doesn't react to the storm. It doesn't move when waves crash. It doesn't adjust its beam based on weather conditions. It simply shines steadily, reliably, and in doing so, it saves lives. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Marcus Aurelius. When you focus on yourself, when you do the inner work, develop your character, master your reactions, grow in wisdom, you become that lighthouse. And the people in your life feel the stability you carry. They lean on it without even realizing it. This is the paradox of Stoic self-focus. The more deeply you invest in your own growth, the more powerfully you serve others. The hidden cost of living for approval. Let me ask you honestly, how much of your energy right now is going toward managing what others think of you? Your social media presence, your clothing choices, the opinions you perform, the achievements you announce, the people you pretend to agree with because disagreeing feels too risky. All of that energy has a cost paid in the currency of your authentic self. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. Epictetus was relentless about this. He watched educated, intelligent, well-meaning people destroy their inner peace trying to manage their image, trying to control what they couldn't control, trying to be accepted by people who didn't truly know them. His prescription was always the same: return to yourself. Decide who you are, then live that quietly without announcement, without seeking approval. The person who needs no one's validation is the freest person in the room. 5 Stoic practices for daily life. Philosophy without practice is mere decoration. The Stoics were, above all else, practitioners. Here are 5 practices you can implement starting today. Practice 1. The morning silence protocol. Marcus Aurelius began every morning the same way. Before the palace filled with noise, before petitioners arrived, before the responsibilities of empire descended, he sat, he wrote, he thought. His meditations weren't written for publication. They were his private morning practice, a conversation with himself, a daily recalibration of his values. Do this. For the first 20 minutes after waking, touch nothing. No phone, no messages, no news or social media. Instead, write 3 things. 1. Who you want to be today. 2. What you're grateful for. 3. One thing within your control that you'll act on. It sounds simple. It is not easy. But Marcus Aurelius did this while running an empire. You can do it before your commute. Practice 2. The selective silence rule. Seneca had a practice he called selective silence. Before speaking in any situation, he would ask himself 3 questions. Is what I'm about to say true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If the answer to all 3 wasn't yes, he stayed silent. Try this for 1 day. Before responding in any conversation, text, email, in-person, pause and ask those 3 questions. Notice how many of your usual responses don't pass the test. Notice what happens to your relationships and peace of mind when you hold back what doesn't. Practice 3. Voluntary discomfort. This one surprises people. The Stoics regularly practiced voluntary discomfort, choosing to go without something comfortable, sleeping on a hard floor, eating a simple meal, going without their phone. Why? Because comfort is a chain. When you're attached to comfort, anything that threatens it owns you. When you've voluntarily experienced discomfort and survived, you know at a cellular level that you can handle it. Endure and keep yourself for days of happiness. Seneca. Once a week, practice 1 deliberate discomfort. Fast for a day. Take a cold shower. Turn off all screens for 24 hours. These aren't punishments, they're training sessions for your freedom. Practice 4. The evening audit. Every evening, Epictetus recommended reviewing the day not to judge yourself, but to understand yourself. 3 questions. 1. Where did I lose control of my responses today? 2. Where did I speak when I should have stayed silent? 3. Where did I look outward for what I should have found within? This isn't self-criticism, it's self-knowledge, and self-knowledge is the beginning of self-mastery. Practice 5. The sacred space of inner retreat. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the concept of inner retreat, the idea that no matter where you are, no matter how chaotic the external world becomes, you can always retreat inward into the quiet space of your own values and clarity. Whenever the world feels overwhelming, before you react, before you speak, before you engage, take 3 slow breaths and return to yourself. That 3-second pause isn't weakness. It's the foundation of every good decision you'll ever make. What will happen when you begin? I want to be honest with you, when you start focusing on yourself and staying silent, it won't feel powerful at first. It will feel uncomfortable because the people in your life are used to a version of you that reacts, that explains, that defends, that performs. When you stop doing those things, some people will be confused, some will feel threatened, some will try even harder to provoke a reaction. Let them, because here's what will happen on the inside if you stay committed. Your anxiety will decrease, not because your problems disappear, but because you stop fighting battles that were never yours to fight. Your focus will sharpen when you stop giving your attention to everything that asks for it and start directing it toward what actually matters: your work, your relationships, your growth. Your relationships will deepen counterintuitively. When you become more selective about who receives your energy, the connections you do invest in become extraordinary, because you're showing up as the real you, not the performed, approval-seeking version. You will begin to trust yourself again. The constant noise of others' opinions will fade, and in that silence, you'll hear your own voice clearly, perhaps for the first time in years. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Final truth. 2,000 years ago, a slave with broken legs changed the world through the power of his mind. An emperor of Rome wrestled with his own character every morning in private journals never meant to be read. A wealthy advisor walked away from power and status to focus entirely on becoming who he was meant to be. They didn't have social media, they didn't have algorithms, notifications, or endless content competing for their attention. And yet the battle they fought, the battle for their own minds, their own focus, their own inner peace, is identical to the battle you're fighting right now. The solution they found is identical too. Focus on yourself, not obsessively, not selfishly, but deliberately, consistently, with the quiet confidence of someone who has decided their inner world is worth protecting. Stay silent, not forever, not completely, but strategically. Save your words for what matters. Save your energy for what builds. Save your attention for what transforms. Because here's the final truth. You have been assigned this mountain to show others it can be moved. Your life isn't just about you, but it starts with you. And if you are scattered, reactive, and living at the mercy of every opinion and event around you, you cannot become what you are meant to be. So begin today, quietly, powerfully. Call to action. If this message resonated with you, if even one moment made you think, I needed to hear that, then take action. First, share this with someone you know who needs to hear it, because sometimes, the most stoic thing you can do is quietly hand someone else the key to their own freedom. Second, reflect on one area of your life where you've been living for others' approval instead of your own values. You don't have to announce it, but sit with that question, because the answer might be the beginning of everything changing. Third, begin the morning silence protocol tomorrow. Before anything else, just for 20 minutes, see what emerges. Stay silent, stay focused, stay stoic.